friends, what's up? How are you? I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is on a book that its title is actually kind of how I feel about this book. It's an author that I've read quite a few of her books now, certainly not everything. Boy, her backlist is pretty big. It would take me a while to get through, and I hope that someday I'll be able to. But I was able to start 2 new series of hers from the very beginning, and I'm so happy I have, because she's just now become one of my favorite authors. The book we're going to talk about today is called Didn't Expect You by Claudia Burgoa. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope I am. Didn't Expect You is the second book in the Against All Odds series. And I love that we see a character from her other series that she's got going on right now, which is the Baker's Creek Billionaire Brothers series, the Aldridge brothers. I did a video on the first book in that series, Loved You Once. I actually have my video for the second book in the series ready to go up on my channel here. She's about to release the third book in the series. And Nyx, who's the female main character in Didn't Expect You, is really good friends with Pierce Aldridge, which is one of the Aldridge boys, and Didn't Expect You is about Nyx. If you recall, I also did a video on the first book in this series, which was Wrong Text, Right Love. I really liked that book. I really liked Nyx in that book. Wrong Text, Right Love, it's hard to say, is about Ford and Percy, and Nyx is Percy's sister, and then also Nate. And Nate, who's the male character in this book, is Ford's brother. So interesting. I always put the book up. Is it on this side usually? I adore the cover. It's just so fresh and colorful and happy. And I also felt that about Wrong Text, Right Love. I just love Claudia's covers. And then talking about the Baker's Creek Billionaire Brothers series, those covers, I just love her aesthetic when it comes to how she puts her covers together. And this cover I loved as well. I will, of course, put in the description box below the videos that I've done on the other books in the 2 series that I was just telling you about. So let's get to talking about Didn't Expect You. I really liked Nyx in Wrong Text, Right Love. She's an attorney. She is, I believe she's the oldest of the siblings. So her family in birth order is Nyx, Persephone, okay, so they have these great Greek names, right? Nyx's name is actually Andromeda. Is that the right? I think that's the right way. And then Percy is Persephone. Eros is their brother. And then they have Calliope. And I can't remember if I cut it out of my previous video. And one of my daughters had a friend named Calliope. And I just thought it was such a different and beautiful name. And here it is in this book. In any case, Nyx is the oldest of the siblings. They've had a very interesting life. You know that if you have read the previous book. Their parents are very interesting characters. You know, it just, they're a whole ball of wax in and of themselves. And that carries on in this book. And if you read the book, you'll know what I mean. Nyx is kind of the typical older sister, older sibling in that she's driven, successful, she takes care of everybody, everyone comes to her when they need something. She is very solid on her own 2 feet. Her life is very put together. She's organized and she's good at it. In fact, at the very beginning of the book, she's talking to Eros, her brother, and this is what he says to her. You always liked to boss me around while we were growing up. Show that you were responsible. It's your thing. Just like Percy likes to analyze people, and I watch over you 3. He's right. And then there's Nate, who is Ford's brother. Very interesting. I was not sure how that was going to go, how Claudia was going to play that out. They're all relatively close in age. They are attractive, successful people. They're all single, well, until obviously Ford and Percy get together. Nix and Nate start spending time together because they are their siblings' best friend. Nate and Ford are very close. They themselves had an interesting upbringing. Their family is strained, and they very much rely on each other for, their best friend, their brother. They run a successful company together. They balance each other really well, but they're their closest person. And it's the same for Nix and Percy. They are each other's best friends. They're each other's confidant. They're everything to each other. So when their siblings started dating and having a relationship, all of a sudden Nix and Nate were like, oh, they want that for them and they're so happy for them. But then they're kind of not cast off to the side, because it didn't work like that. But all of a sudden they're like, well, they're, wound up in each other. And hey, you're kind of cute. They like each other's personalities. They're obviously attracted to each other. That's not an issue. But it's how Claudia writes the rest of it that I loved. Percy finding Ford and them forging a relationship holds a mirror independently to Nix and to Nate about their lives. And Nix finds herself a little bit at a crossroads or a what now kind of place with her life. I didn't feel that so much from Nate. Nate kind of flies by the seat of his pants a little bit. He's the type of single bachelor that just goes all over the world and likes to do a bunch of different things. He says he's an adrenaline junkie. He likes to experience things, whereas Nix is really the opposite. And this is from her perspective, which really showed me where she was. Do I even have time to do anything about my current situation? I have student loans, a mortgage, and the option to become a junior partner within the next couple of years. I can't throw away my hard work because I feel unfulfilled, can I? We adjourn the meeting, and though I grin at my sister and celebrate our big win, I'm depressed as F. I'm lucky my sister's too busy thinking about Langford Chadwick, her love interest. She sees me as someone who breezes through life effortlessly. She swears I always have a plan, and my to-do list is full of checks because it's all done. But everything I do focuses on work, financial goals, or my family. What about my personal life? When is the last time I let my hair loose and just live for the moment? Never. So that's where I'm saying that Percy's relationship held up a mirror to Nix and Nate in his own way that I really thought was interesting, and where Claudia takes it. Like I said, they're definitely attracted to each other. They have, as different as they have things in common. Nate seems to fall into his charismatic ways and wants to get with Nix for sure. Nix is like, okay, that's a whole lot of something that I want. Hello. But then what happens is they're really self-aware of how their potential hookup could affect Ford and Percy. If it doesn't work out, if they hook up, they end up not liking each other, one of them gets hurt in the process, whatever that chance is, if they acted on their attraction to each other, they're keenly aware of how that could affect the greater situation. They both know that Ford and Percy are each other's person, and they're most likely going to spend the rest of their lives together. So how does their maybe attraction and frivolous hookup, what does that mean for the future of all of them in this new family unit that is starting to form with the relationship of Percy and Ford. And I really liked that. It was very mature. I had to laugh. Nate is trouble. Poor Nix. Yeah, he was I have to say that of the two brothers, meaning Ford and Nate, I liked Nate instantly. He was hard not to fall for, but this is some fun interaction that I'd like to share with you between him and Nix. Would you like to join my playground? I tempt her because with that body, that mouth, and that wit, I like to have a good time with her. Isn't it a little early to place your cards on the table? She waves her glass of wine, drinking it all and then asking for more. We're just getting to know each other. You don't seem like the kind of person who likes mind games, I answer, pouring more wine. All I have to offer you is unlimited dates with extreme outdoor activities, exotic locations, and out-of-this-world sex. She licks her lips, direct. And here I thought you were a smooth operator with a lot of lip and too little game. She puts him in his place all the time. And he loves it, and I loved it. But here I was like, okay, giddy up. Here we go. This is the part I love, the chase. But that's not what Claudia had in store for us with their book. Nate and Nix become this amazing duo. And it's so much more than the chase. Claudia writes this beautiful friendship. And they're very aware that they are friend zoning. They talk about it. That they are friend zoning each other. And they are both very aware that they're attracted to each other. But they're trying to put somebody else's, their loved one, their best, closest person to them, they're trying to put their needs first. Because if it didn't work out, it could be catastrophic. And they don't want to add that stressor to their sibling who's their best friend. I really liked that. There was just something I connected with, and it made me love them even more throughout the whole story. So they formed this amazing friendship, and it was really meaningful, and it felt very organic and really sweet at times. How their lives just started to blend together and run very parallel the more they spent time together, the more they got to know each other. They are very much aware of the burning sexual tension, but it's not the first thing with them. Sure, it's there and you feel it, but to me, what Claudia wrote in spades was their beautiful friendship and foundation that I was hoping that they were building for something more. We slowly see the baggage that each one of them is carrying, and they both have baggage. They have similar baggage in a lot of ways, and yet it is very different. And I am going to tell you something that, not that it's a spoiler, because if you look at the book cover, you'll see it on there. But I am going to warn you that I'm going to mention something that's a big part of the book, and you'll see as soon as you open it and look at the cover. But I just want to mention, it might be a little bit of a spoiler for the story. Nix finds herself pregnant from a one-night stand with somebody that she works with that she doesn't even like. Oh, I felt so bad for her. And I was actually like a little upset that that's who Claudia picked for who the baby daddy's gonna be. But I had to get over that. I just wanted more for Nix. In any case, she finds herself pregnant, and I thought, oh crap, here it goes. Nate's gonna run. Like, he's gonna be like, oh no, this is not what I want. But you know what he does? He sticks in there with her, and he's the friend that she needs. He becomes the person who supports her and helps her and is just like her rock. She ends up being really, really sick with the pregnancy, and to read him taking care of her oh, it makes me teary. It was so sweet and so him. And I loved that about him. And amongst all that, their restraint with one another, inspiring. Because there is tension. It is just under the surface with every interaction they have. They have major chemistry. It's right there. At one point, Nick says, "You've done all of this for me, and we haven't even had sex yet." And it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, they haven't had sex yet. And I found I didn't miss that because of the way Claudia writes their journey together and how much I loved them and loved reading about them. And I knew that they liked each other. The chemistry was there for certain, but I didn't miss it. I fell in love with Nate as Nyx was falling in love with him, even though they were saying they were just friends. I loved all that, and I didn't miss the fact that they hadn't slept together yet, because there was so many other really fulfilling parts to their relationship, all their little buckets that they were filling for each other. And I figured when they eventually got to that point, wow. Nick says something that made me feel like, okay, good. She's there. She's ready. Let's hope Nate is as well. But this is what she says. "For the first time, I can see myself with someone, Nathaniel Chadwick. He doesn't care that I'm weird sometimes. He doesn't mind my family. They are a handful. He is okay with my lists and my plans and even finds them endearing and brilliant. He loves my baby, also calls her ours. He likes to take care of me, and I don't mind letting him. Actually, I love it." And then a little bit later, she says, "I adore my family, but I wouldn't care where I live as long as I'm with him. The thought surprises me and yet fills me with so much hope. The hope that maybe this is exactly where I belong, with him." And then I was just a pile of mush when Nate says this. Percy smiles at me. "You really love them." I nod, and I don't tell her all my fears because, again, who the F am I to worry? Because what if Nick shuts the door between us because that's what's best for the baby? I'd lose both of them, and then what's going to happen to me? "You have no idea," I claim. "They are my life." Ford squeezes my shoulder. "We have the resources, Nate. You'll hire whoever we need to keep that baby safe with her family." "Maybe you should talk to Nyx," Percy suggests. "Sometimes she needs space, but others, you have to drag her out of her head, or she'll drive herself crazy. Look, I totally understand that you're trying to respect her, but how do you guys want her to remember her pregnancy?" I could say something stupid like, "We're not together," or "This isn't my baby." I love this baby as if she's mine, and Nyx has become my entire life. This really is the perfect love story. A love story that is about two people that, although they're coming to a relationship from very different angles, it's the right time for them. And they just need to work through a couple of issues until they can get there. And they work through it knowing that they have a friend. They have a soon-to-be lover. They want that. They realize that when you are open and honest and real and yourself with that other person, and they are that way back, there's nothing you can't accomplish together. Now, Nate has a ton of money, makes things a little easier. Nate is a fixer, makes things a little easier. But he brings that to the table with Nyx, and she accepts it in a way that doesn't make her feel like less than the strong woman that she has made herself be. They're at a point in their lives where it's the right time and they are the right person. Neither one of them suffer fools. So they go into it with their eyes wide open and they build this incredible foundation that, to me, Claudia wrote so perfectly. I actually messaged her when I finished reading the book the other day, and this is what I said to her. "The way you develop their attraction, then friendship, then the deep connection they forged, and then how they bonded over the pregnancy and baby, and how organic it all felt was superb. It was meant to be. You felt that with every new chapter and new situation and where their feelings were taking them. I just loved it. Absolutely 100% loved it. It might be my favorite book of hers. And as I say that, I think about how I just finished A Moment Like You with Sophia and Henry and how much I loved them. Gold. Absolute gold. I'm such a fan. I can't wait to read everything else she writes. I'm here for it 100%. September is such a crazy month. I have so many books that I have yet still to bring to you, so make sure you are tuned in for my next video. Let me know what books of Claudia's you have read. I would love to hear, and or if you have a favorite. If you liked the video, I would appreciate you giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. When you do that, it not only helps me and my channel, but also this video get better visibility on YouTube. I always include my social media links in the description box below, so I encourage you to come on over and find me over there. Kat Reads Romance on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you soon. Bye.